on to the business of baseball. The offseason continues, signings taking place. Some good ones in recent days, or interesting ones, I should say. Jock Peterson to the Diamondbacks, Adam Ottavino to the Mets, the Tigers signing of Colt Keith, an infielder who has yet to play a game in the major leagues, signed one of those pre-debut extensions. And then there's the one that I want to talk about a little bit here. It's the one I wrote about a couple of days ago. It involves Hector Neris, who signed with the Cubs 1 year, $9 million. Now, Hector Neris last year had a 1.71 ERA as a reliever. It was his third consecutive season of 70 or more appearances. So my expectation, and I think the expectation of the average fan, was that he would get a multi-year deal. He'd do pretty well. And there was some talk in the media. There were some things written and printed. He was looking for 2 years. He was looking for 3 years. Sometimes some of these things are accurate. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they lead people to have a false sense of what actually might happen. And in Neris's case, as I wrote, 1 year probably was appropriate. Now, the relief market has been robust this season. And David Robertson, a pitcher who is 4 years older than Neris, he's 39, Neris is 35. Robertson got more money than Neris, $2.5 million more, even though Robertson didn't really finish the year strongly at all for the Marlins. He got removed from the closer's role. While Neris, he was trusted in huge moments for the Astros, pitching in the ALCS 5 of the 7 games. So let's start off with an explanation of why this happened. Let's start off talking about the contracts themselves, because the numbers here don't tell the entire story. And let's take a look for those watching on YouTube, and I'll show you what I mean here. So Neris, yes, 1 year, $9 million with the Cubs. Robertson, 1 year, $11.5 million with the Rangers. But the Neris deal includes a club option for a second season that can turn into a $9 million player option if he makes 60 appearances. And again, he's made 70 or more in each of his last 3 seasons. Now, Robertson's breakdown has a $5 million salary for this year, a $1.5 million buyout on a mutual option, and then $5 million deferred, $1 million each year from 2027 to 2031. And the deferred money, as I know fans have come to understand with the Shohei Ohtani contract and others over the years, that lowers the present day value of the deal. So in some ways, Neris's deal is better than Robertson's, or at least comparable. The other part of this is the way they performed last year. And the big thing I think that hurt Neris is that his velocity dropped from 94.3 miles per hour in 2022 to 93 miles per hour in 2023. That's a drop in average fastball velocity of nearly 1.5 miles per hour. For teams that are looking for future performance and trying to figure out in free agency which guys can be as good as they want them to be going forward, that obviously is significant. And I'll show you one other thing as well here in the comparison just between Neris and Robertson. Neris, while he had the showy ERA, his expected numbers weren't quite as sexy. And you can see his expected ERA was 3.33, actually higher than Robertson's expected ERA, even though Robertson had the higher actual ERA. So all of these things come into play, and you put it all together, and you can understand why Neris received the deal he did and why I said again that probably this ended up in the right place.